guys, welcome back to Shadows of Saintfour, and we're going to do the final conclusion of season. Hey guys, welcome back to Shadows of Saintfour, and we're going to be reaching the final conclusion in season 1. We're going to do in episodes 11 and 12, and this will be interesting. Okay, so your meeting was inevitable, but who will come out alive, you or Pisadar? Alright, it's the final showdown, dude. Here we go. I'm curious to rediscover what this plan of hers is and to get into season 2 because I stopped somewhere there, and so we're rapidly catching up to where I literally have no idea what's going to happen next in the story. Okay, the last fight. Mrs. Hill was holding the infant's remains. You think my version may be correct? These are the bones of Pisadar's baby? Quite possible, but Melody, Bobby, you've gotten yourself into something very dangerous business. Oh, Pisadar started it. Look, she came to me. There's no turning back. You must return her child to her. But how? You need to be reunited in the grave, but just putting it there is not enough. For so many years, Pisadar only had the image left. Her soul distorted by the earthly burden will not recognize the child. It is necessary to perform a ritual. With a sinking heart, you listen to Mrs. Hill, trying not to miss any detail. I told you we should have told this woman before. If she already knew what to do, we didn't have to go running around everywhere. Well, I guess we need to know what the baby and where the baby was, blah, blah, blah. Bobby stood at the exit as if he was going to run away at any moment. Mrs. Hill laid out the items for the ritual, telling along the way why each was needed. And the final touch. You must be in a special clothes for the image to get through the gates to the other world and your voice to be heard. I have several options. Choose. Oh, that's cute. Apparently I chose that one. Black Queen. Satan Cloak. This one's so cute. Of course I chose that one. This one's cool. But this one's so cute. I'm going with this one again. That's it. Please be careful. You and Bobby think Mrs. Hill went outside. I'm not going anywhere, Melody. This is crazy. What are we doing? Are you really going to do everything that Mrs. Hill said just now? I'm scared too, Bobby. But even if we drop everything now, it will come for us. Bobby flinched. Maybe it won't? Do you want to leave me alone? Are you going with or without me? There is no other way out. You took him by the shoulders and shook him. I need your help, Bobby. Are we going alone? Of course not. We'll drop by Derek's. The news noticeably calmed Bobby, and he suddenly relaxed and smiled. Good. But Derek wasn't home, and to get to Candy's hospital, they'd have to walk half the town. We need to hurry before it gets completely dark. We'll have to go alone. I'm not going without Derek. Don't be a child. You took the suitcase that Mrs. Hill lent you and headed towards the bus stop. Where are you going? Bobby stood for a while, watching you move away. Damn it. Wait for me. Having caught up with you, he snatched the suitcase from your hands. It's heavy. I swear, half the time I want to smack Bobby, other times I just want to laugh. How silly he is. What are you laughing at? Nothing. You took his arm and carried on. There was a deafening silence in the cemetery. The barely perceptible wind whispered something, making its way under your clothes, piercing into your body. The moon proudly froze in the sky. Cold and scary. Soon everything will be over. You looked around. Pisadar could be buried anywhere in the cemetery. Where do we go? Maybe... Oh no. I don't know. Left and then right. Right and then left. Right into the end. Straight ahead at the very end of the graveyard. I can't even begin to know. I don't remember this at all. Deborah Thompson, Susan Walker. Melody, here it is. Seen the name on the tombstone, you froze. Okay, I chose right. Aria Maria Posada. As soon as you said her full name, the wind rose, tearing off the yellowed leaves. Somewhere from the depths of the forest, a wolf howled. Bobby clutched your shoulder. Please, let's leave before it's too late. You put a shovel in his hand that you had brought on the way. Dig. On top of everything, you give me orders? The suitcase obediently opened. You examined the items needed for the ritual. Hold this bag. In it, you will find everything you need. For the ceremony, you also need this black cloth. You put the rest of the items on it so that they become one. You took out the dark clock and laid it out in front of you. Remember what to do next, you paused. Oh. It is important to remember that such dark power can be driven away only by black magic, and it needs a sacrifice. The blood of the performer, or an animal. By performer, you mean... That's right, Melody. In this case, the performer is you. You took out a cup that you had to fill with blood. Your hands clenched into a fist. You looked at Bobby diligently digging the grave. The sweat was already dripping from his forehead. His cheeks reddened. Your gaze stopped again on the empty vessel. There's no time. We must decide. Whose blood will I pour into this cup? Mine. I can't do this to a living creature. You slowly got a special ritual knife out of the case. From the touch of a cold blade to your palm, you started and grimaced. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The knife cut open your palm and burgundy blood flowed from the wound. The pain pressed up your arm to your shoulder. Everything went dark in front of your eyes. Geez, how deep did you cut? I guess you need to fill the cup, so... It hurts. You squeezed your hand, shuddering. The cup was quickly filled with your blood. Melody, wow. You okay? Everything is okay. You quickly bandaged the wound, and involuntarily tears rolled down your cheeks. The tank was only half full. You took out a snake's eye and pierced it with the tip of the knife, allowing the liquid to drain into the bowl. Done. Please tell me I don't have to drink it. Next step. Bobby was already tired and slowed down a bit, but the grave was mostly dug at this point. The most important thing is to read a prayer. It is in Latin, so practice now. Mrs. Hill opened in front of you an old book with yellow pages. Exorcio te... Oh no, not out loud here. Sorry. At the bottom of the briefcase lay the Book of the Dead. You opened it on the page needed, went through the text, and spoke. Exorcio te immundissime spiritus omnes incurcio adversari omne phantasma. Omnis legio in nomine Domini nostri Jesu Christi eradicare et upagare ab hoc plasma Dei. I'm so sorry. You know what? I'm just going to stop reading this. Because I know I'm butchering it so horribly. Ventus Empress Subit. Okay, there you go. Boom. Said. The wind rose again, the howl of the wolves subsided, and then rose with a new force from all sides. What's going on? Not paying attention to him, you continue to read. Humani. Mortis radix. Sauculorum. Amen. Now we need to light up the smudge. It burned with a bright flame, which immediately faded a little. Smoke swirled and lifted, dissipating, but the further you read the spell, the denser it became. Soon, smoke consumed almost the entire cemetery. Bobby was there, but you could no longer see him. As if blinding powder, the white veil hid even the text on the book's page. Yielding to panic, you looked around. Bobby? I'm here. Suddenly you noticed how shadows loomed in the veil. They danced, darting from side to side. The shadows began to take on a more pronounced form. You saw Sam. Among them were mostly women and children. Many cried. Their sobs merged in unison. You wanted to cover your eyes. Out of the fog, someone or something took a step forward. He pounced on you. His snout was right on your face. His jaw clamped shut at your ear, but you dodged in time. No. Melody, I can't see. What's happening? Bobby, help. Where are you? I'm here. The wolf pressed you into the ground, his claws dug into your shoulders. You started to cry from the pain. Melody. A figure appeared out of the fog. Bobby? The beast turned to Bobby, growled, losing his grip a little. You tried to escape, but he pressed you down again. It seemed the wolf had no intention of killing you, but only meant to hold you in place. You jerked again, screaming in pain, and he suddenly got mad. He clasped his teeth and clutched at your shoulder, but he did not manage to lock his jaw into the target. The blow of the shovel threw it aside. Take that. Bobby, what? Being a beast, what? Bobby swung his shovel time after time, beating up the enemy. And that, the wolf had already disappeared into the fog as if it was not there at all, but Bobby continued to swing at the void. Everything is okay, I think. You touched his shoulder. What? Are you alright? I am now, thank you, Bobby. Yes, sort of. Did you dig the grave out? From pain, you didn't even have the strength to speak, but adrenaline had gradually brought you to your senses. Yes, you can see the coffin. You stepped to the grave. We're gonna have to open it. You sat down, dangling your legs over the grave, but Bobby stopped you. You're gonna pass out. Give me a sec. He jumped down, stretched out his arms, and then helped you down into the pit. What? Bobby's stepping up! Yo! Derek was like way off base when he was like, everybody else did something, but Bobby didn't do anything. Excuse me? Nobody else is here besides Bobby. Where was frickin' Derek? Thank you. You carefully opened the lid of the coffin. What an abomination. The rags and old, darkened bones made a repulsive impression. The grave did not smell of anything, and at the same time it became worse with each breath. The wind whistled, raising dust and throwing it straight at you. You were coughing, gasping, closing your eyes, and then a laugh came with the wind. Melody? Yes? Turn around. You obeyed. You looked up and saw someone's long fingers squeezing the edge of the grave. Then Pisadara's head appeared. She curled atop her own headstone, sat above her grave, and watched you. Her black eyes resembled the eyes of an insect, but concealed a great danger. You recoiled from the shock and fell right on the bones. She jumped on you. With one motion, she threw both of you to the surface as if you weighed nothing. Bobby flew off into a tree, hitting his head and losing consciousness. Bobby! Pisadara slowly rose in the air, spreading her arms, and then attacked, knocking you to the ground. Oof. She leaned over, bringing her face very close. Strands of her long, hard hair fell, blocking you from the rest of the world. From the musty smell, you could hardly breathe. Whoa! I've never seen her make that face, bitch. She opened her mouth and you felt endless horror, uncontrollable panic from which you could not escape. You wanted to break free. Pisadara held you so that you looked into her black eyes, exuding the abyssal depths of a nightmare. She frightened you and was immediately able to feed on this fear. Life began to leave you. A thought flashed through your clouded consciousness. In the forest, were you also afraid for your child? Everything went dark. Pisadar was thrown a few meters away. Life abruptly returned to you and you eagerly breathed in gulps of air. What the? Are you alright? Look who else came to save the day! Yes. The Forester reloaded his gun. From the belly of Pisadar, blood began to flow mixed with black tar. Oh no! I should have went with the other thing? So I can't save him if I don't have any points in that? Oh no! Because the janitor died. Oh no! What do you mean do not risk it? The Forester did not have time to escape. Pisadar caught him like a mouse and lifted him up into the air. Oh no. She wrapped her arms around his chest and began to squeeze. No! The Forester's face reddened with pain. He burst out, shouting and tossing in agony. Pisadar continued to squeeze his ribs until they crunched. Oh my god. Are you kidding? That's not even... Oh. Was there no way to save him? What would that have done? Like... I'm so pissed off. Like, it's not even fucking fair just because you go with caution. Oh my god. I kind of want to replay the whole thing. Oh. And then tore him apart. You could not save the Forester. So there was a chance that you could? Then what is the point of caution? What does that do? What good is it when you can't save anybody? Blood, just as that night at school, was draped in all directions. What you had just seen made you want to vomit, but there was no time for weakness. You ran towards the bones of the child before she got to you. If only I have enough time. Despite the pain in the shoulders and the total horror, you deftly picked up the remains of the child and jumped down to Pisadar's coffin. Blood began to flow again from your wounds. Your head started spinning. I just need to not faint, not now. You better, bitch. Get to work. You carefully put the bones in the coffin and closed the lid. But as soon as you finished, Pisadar grabbed you by the hair and pulled you up to her. Holy hell. I have to read the prayer. But the book is too far. I need to repeat the last words. How did it go? I'm pretty sure it was this one. Spiritual Amen. It definitely ended with Amen. And all this looks like Greek, so. She began to convulse. Her fingers twisted and you fell to the ground, freeing yourself. Pisadar continued to scream and spin, clutching her face. She seemed to want to escape from her body. Birds scattered from the trees, chased away by her screaming. Wandering spirits swirled around you as their crying screams and voices merged into an insane cacophony. Huh? Some metamorphosis began to occur in Pisadara's body. She's weak. But why didn't the spell work? She should have reunited with the baby. Pisadara in the body of the teacher was preparing to attack. But something hit her first. Run! This again? Run! The voice rang out in your head. It was unclear whether the subconscious voice had been saved by your brain or if this being was your guardian angel. I can't leave Bobby. He's still out. Pisadara grabbed the neck of your savior. They started a mortal combat. The creature and Pisadara moved so fast that they merged into one. Its scream, long and heart-rending, stunned you. The Pisadara suddenly shook herself and disappeared into the forest. Something tells me that she left to heal her wounds and she'll be back soon. You ran to the wounded creature. Seeing that you were approaching, it jumped. I won't hurt you. Blood flowed from his feathers. It sprang to his feet, flapping its wings in pain. The wound on its side was serious. Pisadara stabbed it with her claws right under its ribs. Why are you helping me? I need to know. But the animal still wanted to fly. So, with caution, I can convince the animal to tell me, like, because it's obviously my pet. I guess I can convince it to tell me why, but what does that do? When I could have saved the forester? This better have something to do with saving my pet's life. If not, I'm replaying. I don't want to be afraid of you. It looked at you, and its eyes were sad and thoughtful. I was not in time. Catch him, devilish brat. Devil's minion. You're not getting away. The raven flew as fast as he could. They threw spears at him, arrows. One of the wings was hurt and throbbed from terrible pain. He was clumsy and could barely rise into the air. At first glance, it seemed to be fleeing fanatics chasing after it. But it was not flying away from them. It was flying towards someone else. I did not have time. It closed its eyes as if from great suffering and suddenly rushed away and disappeared among the trees. The trees and branches began to shake ahead, one after another, crackling under someone's heavy footsteps. Fear took over your body, and without thinking, you rushed away from this rabid laugh. But it chased after you. God, no. Accelerate. Your feet ached from how fast you had already been running. You were out of breath. You stumbled. No. You crawled back and Pisadara was slowly approaching. Then you jumped to your feet and ran again. Oh no. There was only a cliff ahead. A rapid river flowed below. That's a pretty moon, sorry. I'm totally distracted because I'm still thinking of, like, I'm trying to restart. Because, okay, so I got that one clip. They better give me more than that. I'm trapped. She's cornered me. You looked around for weapons. What to take? Out of these things, a half-rusted pipe sounds the best. Pisadara came very close. Take that. The self-made weapon pierced her stomach. The pipes should break now. You turned around and you and Pisadara changed places. Now she was on the edge of the cliff. Pisadara grabbed the pipe, wanted to pull it out, but you didn't let it. Not this time. You shoved her with your foot and she flew into the abyss. Silence. Is this really it? Come closer. Pisadara had fallen on the rocks. She again looked like Miss Baker. All her bones were broken. There was blood coming from her mouth, but she still tried to get up. What did I miss in the ritual? If she gets up again, what should I do? She looked up, and you looked into each other's eyes. Her hands were trembling, her lips opened, as if she was trying to scream and couldn't, and her eyes were wide open with fear. You suddenly saw a human being who was simply afraid to die. Pisadara continued to look at you. Her gaze was penetrating. She wanted to tell you something or to show you. Sure. I was to blame. The night was dark, but it was still darker in Arya's heart. Her legs were covered in blood from sharp stones and branches. She had wandered through the forest for about 4 hours. Sin. Sinner. My baby. My little boy. She fell to her knees. Hot tears flowed down her cheeks. Ah, the sin. Arya's body was icy, like a dead man's. She wrapped her arms around herself in a desperate attempt to warm herself and looked at the black sky. I am guilty, Lord. I am guilty. And the punishment is clear to me. But please, don't let him pay the price. He is alone in the well, a small creature that has barely begun to live. Oh, what have I done? This is retribution for my mistakes. Do not commit false testimony. Sin. Arya ran, not knowing where, and ran until her strength was exhausted. She fell on the wet ground, realizing that she could not rise. Such heavy sin. My little. She was sobbing, choking, breaking into screams. Her voice was hoarse and her tears dried out, and soon the crying turned into uncontrollable laughter. I died with you. This laugh does not belong to me. Do not commit false testimony. Arya felt something otherworldly clasping her body with its tentacles, enveloping her into a cocoon. She suddenly intuitively understood everything and trembled with horror. My soul is now in the shackles of the penalty. Arya looked into the darkening distance, and the laughter broke from her lips against her will. Do not commit false testimony. False testimony. The vision disappeared. You touched your face. I'm crying. You saw beside Arya's eyes again. She tried to get up, and little by little she succeeded. You felt a string in your pocket. I forgot to return the cross to the child. That's why the ritual didn't work, but isn't it too late? You got the cross out of your pocket. Seeing a familiar thing, Pisadara froze. This is yours. You waved it as bait. She found the strength in herself, squeezing a ledge with her hands in an attempt to rise, and it cracked. As Pisadara climbed to the surface, she ran away, knowing that she would follow. You rushed through the forest towards the well. Your heart beat anxiously in your chest. She's following. I can hear her hoarse breathing. Climbing up from the abyss, Pisadara gained strength. She again took on her terrible appearance, like an otherworldly lizard dropping the body of Miss Baker. You could hear her hoarse wheeze right next to your ear and sharply turned around. She hung in the air, spreading her arms, intending to cling to your throat, but you ran to the well. Look. Pisadara did not pay attention, continuing to approach. You picked moss and leaves from the stones. Look, this is the well, the same one. One of the stones was loose, and you pulled it out and threw it at Pisadara's feet. Just look at it. She lowered her eyes and slowly raised it into her hands. On one side it was cold, even slightly damp. She ran her hand over the stone, sniffed it. Tears welled in her eyes. She recognized this place. Pisadara fell to her knees. She covered her face with her hands as the laughter turned into a long sob. The monster's shoulders shook quite humanly, and the tears, though black, fell on stone. You came closer and carefully placed the cross before her. Pisadara raised it, sniffed it, and pressed it to her chest. She suddenly lit up with a bright light rising high above you. The light was blinding and then faded, showing Pisadara's transformed. So this is how you were. Without touching the ground with her feet, she swam up to the well, bent down, and pulled out an infant child from the opening. He was shining just like his mother. Maybe the soul looks like that. Pisadara pressed the baby to her chest. You could hear him laugh happily. She started humming a happy song for him, and then they plunged into the well, and from the hole, instead of them, flew a flock of crows. You continued to stand still, but your legs gave way, and you fell to your knees, feeling relief. That's it. During the story, Candy had trembled and squirmed, forcing herself to listen, but in the end, she could not stand it and jumped up from the sofa. I need to go for a walk. Candy? You also got up, but Derek grabbed her hand. Leave her. But... Sit down. Candy left the house, slamming the door. Bobby looked dull. With empty eyes, he stared at a fixed point without uttering a sound. Then suddenly his voice said, as we recounted and remembered it all, I felt like a teenager again. I felt like I was reliving it. He looked at you. What a terrible feeling. Bobby was sitting under a tree rubbing his head. You sat down next to him and for some reason burst into tears. The experience suddenly washed over you. Your nerves, like an old dam, gave way to emotions. I'm sorry. How are you doing? Nauseous, but overall not bad. Some kind of shining caught your attention. What is it? Forrester's keys. We can't bring back the Forrester. That's all that's left of him. The keys jingled in your hands. You turned to Bobby. He didn't look so good. His hands were shaking when he lifted them to his head. You two were exhausted. A nervous breakdown would work its way up to your throat every now and then, but you were holding it back. One thought calmed you. Is it really all over? Tears flowed down your cheeks again. I'm still stuck on whether or not we could save the Forrester if we had the strength route. I don't know what it's called here. Instead of caution. Courage, probably? If we have the courage route. Because what did we gain from that? We learned that the bird was flying away from something? Whoop-de-freaking do? What did that do? It didn't save the Forrester's life, that's for one. But obviously we get the keys and we get his house from somewhere. But I'm hoping maybe you can save him and he just like drives off into the sunset somewhere. Free from Pisadara from now. And go and get a new life. How is that worth it? Usually there's like some sort of like payoff. Like, okay, you can't do this, but you can do this, and it's just as impactful. This is not like somebody dies or they don't, and you talk to a freaking bird who you can already talk to. Oh my god. I can't. My throat hurts. Like, oh, I'm so upset. Bobby had a concussion, so he spent some time in the hospital and then lay at home without getting out of bed. You also had a hard time with the wounds on your shoulder from the wolf's claws. You and Bobby told everyone that you were attacked by a wild beast. You first met your friends only a week after that night, and they had been waiting for an explanation. Worrying that Candy would get hysterical again, you kept silent about Pisadara and told her the general version of the incident. How did you deal with the wolf? You and Bobby looked at each other. Half an hour before Candy arrived, Derek listened to the real story with surprise and skepticism at the same time. You noticed his grin and his lost look when Candy mentioned the animal. He also doesn't know whether to believe us or not. Derek is one of those people who trust only their own eyes. Well, maybe if you were fucking there, then you would fucking know. The memories gave you shivers, so you were glad when Derek suddenly changed the topic. Bobby, tell me why you're not in bed now. I'm tired of lying already. Michael walked into the living room. Oh, Mr. Guthrie. Well, are we bothering you? Dude, you're in his house. If you got a problem, leave. Shit. You ain't done shit this entire time. You know, like, oh my god. I'm so mad. I'm not even mad at him, really. I'm just, I can't. Derek straightened his eyes, his shoulders, and his eyes burned with unconcealed hostility. Oh my god, get over it. What's wrong with him? Do you have problems with aggression, kid? Something needs to be done. Touch Michael's hand, I guess. Boys, don't fight. Not right now. No one is fighting. He quickly squeezed your fingers so that no one noticed and smiled at you. This was something very intimate, something personal, and you got worried that someone might notice your facial expression. You blushed. Michael also noticed this and smiled condescendingly. Condescendingly? He's gotten used to this reaction from girls. You pulled away your hand and straightened your hair. The phone rang. What's up with that condescendingly shit? Seriously? Michael walked past it towards you, not hiding the smile caused by your act. You caught the smell of his cologne and soap, and your heart beat treacherously. Narcissistic chump. Michael picked up the phone and, hearing the caller's voice, immediately strained, turned away, speaking more quietly. Yeah, being eavesdropped. You were looking at Bobby, but not listening to him, concentrating on Michael's voice. What do you want? We had an agreement, and you acted like a... It's not just a scam. Do you hear yourself? You should thank me for not breaking your neck. No friendship, either. Stay away from both of us, you understand? Just try telling her. You'll find out what I'm going to do to you. Michael hung up the phone angrily. Turning around, he saw that you were watching him. He froze, then slowly smiled, squinting his eyes. He has feline habits. Does he take me for a mouse that fell into his paws? You stayed there for another half an hour. Bobby's head ached again, and you all left so that he could rest. Candy's been gone quite a while now. Yeah, that's weird. You've been focused on the sounds of the street for some time already. Anxiety increased with every minute, but Candy didn't return. Derek jumped. His alarm state passed through you and onto Bobby. He opened the door and then jumped out of the house. He ran around it twice in weaving circles and then came back panting. She's not here. What? Guys, Candy's not here. There's still another episode, isn't there? Cope with Pusadara, but when you cope with your heart's calling, what does that mean? I'm already just emotionally done. I don't even want to do this anymore. I just want to restart right now. How is that even fair? And he died so horribly, too. Just like the other guy. I think the janitor dies either way, though. The school party. The school party? I don't trust Michael right now. I don't want to go with him. A few more days passed before you were called in for questioning. This time your mother went with you. While you were waiting in the waiting room, you nervously flipped through the magazines, preparing your answers to any question beforehand. Finally, the sheriff approached you and led you to his desk. I think you understand why I called you. He said something, but you answered automatically. You could not believe that all this happened to you, so it was easy to lie. And you once again repeated, I don't know. Melody, I'll ask again. You said that Miss Baker killed the janitor. He really disappeared, as did the teacher. Melody already told you that she knows nothing. All right. The sheriff leaned back in his chair, rummaging through the papers. The drug test results came in. Some students had traces of taking drugs, but we were puzzled by something else. Sam and his stepfather's post-mortem. Post-mortem? Is Sam's stepfather dead? This does not concern you. Then why are you mentioning it in my presence? What kind of shit is this? I'm sorry, I'm already irritable and it's not helping. Did Pisadara kill him? A certain poison was found in Their blood, which in small doses is contained in CP25. I think that comes up at some point. CP25. I'm writing on this page, but this page is already filled with a bunch of notes. I don't even know if I'll be able to find that note, but whatever. What is that? Drugs that have recently been produced in Saintfour or in the county. We're not sure exactly where. They got the poison from these flowers. Purple flowers. Do you know these flowers? You notice the faint grin on his lips. What are you implying? Traces of this poison were found in your daughter's blood, Mrs. O'Neill. What? It can't be. Mom, I didn't take anything. Calm down, the dose is too low. Maybe you somehow came in contact with these flowers? I can say the truth, but will they believe me? Tell the truth or lie. I don't like the way he's looking at me. This dude's an asshole, just like his son. I can't say I never saw it. Whatever. Strange. We didn't find any flowers near Sam that night. He shrugged. The sheriff looked at you strangely, but didn't ask any more questions. Finally, the interrogation was over. When you left the police station, there was a sense of relief in your soul. It's all over. You stood by the cliff, listening to how the river flows. Your dress fluttered, flapping in the wind. You did not save me. Eh? You turned around, following the voice, and froze, frightened. Miss Baker is dead. Purple's flowers were squeezed in her hands. She waved them in front of your face. Look what you did to me. No. Miss Baker came closer and pushed you in the chest with a sharp movement. Your hands tried to cling to something, but only grabbed the air. You fell into the abyss. Awareness came a few seconds later, along with a feeling of falling. Your shout was definitely echoing through the area. No. Well, it's a lot louder than that, but my throat hurts. And she's screaming. Silence. Only the raven snored in his cage. So the raven's here. And I get the feeling that he would have been here either fucking way. Because they never kill your pet off. They just don't. When you get a pet in these stories, you always keep the pet. So it's not like listening to the pet would have saved the pet's life. I am still considering replaying the entire thing with the courage route. Because I just can't. It was just a dream. Just a dream. You looked at your hands. Eh? They were covered with purple pollen. You jumped up, almost hysterically dusting it off. I need to talk to Bobby. Maybe he knows something about this flower? Knock, knock. Can I come in? Yes. Soon everything will be starting. And you haven't even dressed. What will be starting? What does this flower mean? You're not fully awake yet? Your school party will start soon. It's Columbus Day. Oh, yes, that. So, what will you wear today? You hesitated a little, but your mood quickly improved. Available to your higher reputation. You rested the wardrobe and opened the doors. That's pretty cute. That's really cute, too. They're all pretty cute. Oh, well. Looks like a bathing suit. That's cute, too. I kind of really like this one. I mean, this one's pretty, too, but look how jazzy this one looks. That's cute. That's really cute. I mean, what's the difference? Let's just go with this one. That's probably what happened last time. I swear. I'm silly. Baby, it's just, you're so She had tears in her eyes. Mom. Sorry, Melody. You're just so pretty. I have no words. Thank you, Mom. Just do not cry. She wiped her cheeks with a quick movement. Okay, I won't. The doorbell rang. You looked out the window and saw Michael. It's for me. Can you introduce us? No, because I'm not sure about him, because he's looking at me condescendingly and I'm already pissed off. And so, no, maybe I don't want to introduce him to my mom. How about that? Ugh. Only if you promise not to show baby pictures. And then what's the point? Oh my God. You went down to the living room and Mom opened the front door. Michael stood on the doorstep. For a second he was surprised, but quickly came to his senses. He gallantly kissed your mom's hand. Hello, Mrs. O'Neill. My name is Michael. Mom put her hand, for some reason, indignantly looked first at Michael, then at you. So that's your boyfriend? What's the matter? Mom looked at Michael again, sizing him up from head to toe. There was a strange smirk on his face as if he understood what was the matter, and as if accepting the challenge, he straightened his shoulders and spread his legs. Sheriff Nixon told me about you. Michael recoiled, confused. How interesting. And what did he tell you? About black dragons? I don't understand what you mean. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Melody, you're not going anywhere with this person. I've already experienced so much lately. I don't want to get into this right now. I just want to relax. I'll figure out the rest later. You have to deal with this. Having guessed that you need to talk, Michael said, Melody, I'll wait for you outside. When he came out, you turned to your mother, barely restraining indignation. Mom, there's nothing wrong with Michael just taking me to school. I don't trust him. I don't either. I trust him. I don't know what the sheriff told you there. Do you have something in particular against him? If so, tell me now. Great talk. Call me from the school as soon as you arrive. Promise me. I promise, don't worry. Michael was waiting for you, leaning on a motorcycle. Is this our ride? What about it? Are you afraid? Not at all. Then hop on. You can cuddle up to me. Good. Look at this girl! I love that they went out of their way to give her a face, and she just looks crazy. It was noisy. Many were already dancing. Someone quietly poured alcohol into the punch. Your heart was pulsing to the beat of the music. Laughter, voices, incendiary songs. Saintfour was hotter than ever. You noticed how you were being stared at. The guys were looking for your attention, and the girls looked with hostile admiration. If I knew that others would dress like that... You heard behind your back. I feel underdressed. Well, I mean, you did come in roughed up jeans. I don't know. A voice was heard from the podium. You did not see the face because of the dark light and the crowd covering the view. Hey, raise your hands. Exactly 494 years have passed since the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus. How about a hip hip hooray in his honor? No. Hip hip. Sure. Took a deep breath and... I cannot hear you. And everyone shouted in unison. Why is she making that face? You laughed. There were deafening claps and whistles. Happy Columbus Day, everybody. Columbus Day. It was great. Okay. You returned to Michael. You did not have enough time to wrap your head around it. Michael turned your face towards himself and kissed you. He looked into your eyes. Now you're a Michael or a couple. Just dare say you don't like it. I don't like it. Really? He put his arm around your waist and spun you. What about this? I'm changing my mind about everything. Why is he still a jerk sometimes? I don't get it. and the black dragon thing. But with Luke, we have the whole putting drugs into my cup thing. So one of the boys drugs you, and this boy is most definitely in a black dragon gang. I don't know. They both have problems. Everybody in Saintfour has problems. Seriously. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna try to go with it. I made my choice. That's that. Even though I'm about to replay the whole thing anyway, so I can make a different choice. We'll see how this goes. Not a chance. You're so small. How can I let you go anywhere? Although, he spun you stronger and then tilted you, holding your lower back. Your faces were inches apart. Michael touched the tip of your nose, looked into your eyes. Then all of a sudden, he let go of his hands, and for a moment you thought you were going to fall. His hands immediately caught you by the lower back, pressed you tightly. Don't be afraid. I've got you. He gently touched your cheek, your neck. You felt how hot his lips were. Can you say you don't like it? I don't. His lips stretched into a smile. Whoa, that music just like jumped up all of a sudden. He quickly kissed your neck again and we pulled away. The tempo of the music picked up. Shall we dance? Michael started to move to the rhythm. I bet you can't move like this. I really can't do it that poorly, no. Oh, so he laughed, kissed your forehead, and waved his hands. Then show me your moves. You moved without taking your eyes off him and watched his expression changed. For some time he watched like a trapped predator. But you were embarrassed. He immediately smiled and began to dance with you. The music stopped and there was a pause. My throat is dry. I'll go drink some punch. Adele stood by the table with drinks. She started a rumor about me and Michael. I need to figure it out. Adele, can I have a moment? What do you want? I need to talk. You walked away from the rest in the hope that Adele would follow you, but she stood in place talking to a company standing nearby. Scraps of her words reached you. Poor girl, led on by Michael. No wonder she's so cheap, just... one needs to take care of their reputation. Her mother did not teach her that properly. Everyone laughed, throwing mocking glances at you. You burned with feelings of anger and humiliation. You were becoming feverish. Adele is just not going to get away with it. Ouch. Steve almost knocked you down. Why are you standing here? He pushed you aside and, wobbling from being drunk, moved towards Adele. A match made in heaven. The idea that popped into your head improved your mood dramatically. You deserve it. You put your foot forward, and not noticing it in the dark, Steve stumbled. Oh. Huh? He fell towards Adele. He hit the table, the bowl of punch spilled directly onto Adele, then Steve fell down on it. Everyone laughed. Get off! Petty revenge, but it feels good. It does feel pretty good. You met Adele's eyes, and she noticed your triumphant smile. Oh, you. Adele pushed Steve back, jumped up, forgetting about the dress, and squealed. Thought I wouldn't notice? I notice what? She laughed hysterically and viciously. You think you're smart, but you don't know what's going on behind your back. What are you talking about? Like I would ever tell you. Reap the rewards of your naivete, baby. Adele looked at her dress, threw one last look full of contempt at you, and disappeared into the crowd. What was that about? The music was loud. People pushed each other, losing themselves in dance and alcohol. Hot, drunk high school students had fun almost like adults. It was stuffy in the gym, and you decided to cool down. You went outside to get some fresh air. It was even slightly frosty. Are you running away from me? Is that even possible? Michael came up from behind, put his arm around your waist, and pulled you closer. He leaned into your ear and whispered, "Only if you ask me not to follow you." Aren't you afraid that Adele will see us and make a scene? She's so furious. Do you think I care? You felt his breath next to your ear. You closed your eyes, surrendering to your emotions, and when you opened your eyes, you saw a black figure standing in the distance. It was impossible to see whether it was a man or a woman, but you felt someone's gaze on you. Is everything alright? You're trembling. He hugged you even tighter in an attempt to warm you up, but it was not cold. You looked again at the path leading into the forest, where the silhouette was, but no one was there anymore. Nothing. I thought I saw someone. Let's go. You went back inside. Your pet was sitting by the window, looking at the street lit by lanterns. Mistress will come back soon. Let her have some fun. She had to endure a lot, and she'll have much more to cope with. Solving all these mysteries with her friends. Test of her strength. She still has a lot to figure out. But will she find the inner strength? Guys, I'm upset. I'm really upset. I don't know what to do. I feel like I messed up. I feel like the courage run is the way to go. Like I'm being punished for being on the caution route. I don't know. They said you could not save the forester, but do you always get that message? I don't know. Anyway, season 1 has come to a final closing. We gotta figure out what's going on with Michael and this black dragon business and this drug that they're talking about. That's undoubtedly what Dale was talking about. I'm probably saying that Adele was the one on the phone and she was threatening to tell me or something. Or maybe somebody else was threatening to tell me something about what's going on. I don't know. I don't know. We figured out stuff with Pisadara, but obviously we still having nightmares about it, which is totally normal. After that, that was a pretty traumatic event, since they're not be able to really talk about besides with their group of friends, and one of those friends doesn't know about it, and the other friend doesn't believe you about it because his ass wasn't there. Anyway, and Candy is missing in the future tense. And I wonder, like, is some sort of adventure going to happen in the future at the same time? I don't know. Yeah, but anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a roller coaster. I'm still upset, and I'm going to do some research. I have to know if it changes something. If it does, I'm going back and playing the whole thing. And I'll show you. When I do that. I mean, I won't make you watch the whole thing again, but I want to show you the part where I changed my mind because I'm still not okay with that. Like, that wasn't, I don't know. I just feel like that wasn't cool. That wasn't a good trade-off. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and show the video some love and subscribe so you can see more content like this into season 2. And I will see you next time. Bye.